I need to stop recording and restart it. So we're restarting our recording because we want to talk about this Saturday morning and what we're here for today. And that's what many people came in for, is just to learn about the compensation plan. I've seen several people that I know got on here just for our compensation plan training. So guys, as we get ready to do that, I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully this will work. And I'm going to start this thing up just a little and kind of say this. I'm sorry that it says RX to the new age. I didn't get time to get that changed, but the compensation plan is RX's. So for those folks that came over from Limu, they've learned the RX compensation plan. And I think Coach Palmer will tell you he loved that. I'm not real good at PowerPoints, and I realized all at once I have the word RX up there, but that's because of the compensation plan. And I'm going to say one thing before we get started. It's a patented plan. So it really, this is the most important thing I'm going to tell you. If you're new to network marketing, or even if you've been doing it as long as I have, literally 20 years full time, only source of income, this slide, I would love to tell you that it was that Deanna Latson was absolutely amazing. It was amazing how great these products have done for my health. They have. But when they told me they couldn't change the compensation plan, that they had a Bill of Rights, I had seen so many things in this industry happen in my 20 years to good people because of what happened by corporate. So Tim Sales said to me very quickly once, it didn't matter what another compensation plan claims to pay. If they can change it, it's irrelevant. And all the things in this Bill of Rights are so important. But when it comes to compensation plan, that is, to me, is probably the biggest statement they made. So when RX and New Age merged, call it the reverse merger, whatever we want to call it, our corporate executives, they had to be able to keep our compensation plan. And the Noni folks should be thrilled because they were about number 2, by the way. I noticed they're on our list, Miranda. They're one of the top, but they weren't as high as we were in payout. So before we go into the whole compensation plan, just know this. If you're new to network marketing, this is one of the most important things you'll hear, is that the company can't change it. I was with a company 12 years that changed so many things that I would be confused. I would be changes annually, not once a year, sometimes 2 and 3 times a year, they would make changes to everything. And nothing, I'm not saying it was a bad company. I just think that change causes people to doubt. And when they don't change your money and you know that's in writing, I think that's very important. So as we get started here, I want you to think the residual income comes slowly sometimes. So you're going to take a time to build something here. But as you build something, it's residual in nature. And we guarantee the highest payout in our industry. Those are the things I just wanted to talk about. And I'm not going to go into retail profits, but I've asked Aaron Decker to come up first. I want him to talk about the team lead bonus, because we talk about how to get new reps started. That's a part of what we're doing here. If I get a brand new person I've sponsored, the word sponsored a new rep or a new brand partner. That's what I should use the word. I'm trying to get used to using the word brand partner. As we sponsor a new brand partner, I believe it is my responsibility, and that is a sponsor and responsible. I believe it is my responsibility to help them get started. So Aaron, I know we texted a little bit this morning. I know you've got to get out of here. Aaron's got somewhere he has to be, but I'll ask him to come up first and talk about the team lead bonus. And I'm going to talk about qualifying. I'll go back to that after you, but I want you to talk about this part, Aaron, and just what your take is on this.
Chris, with anything new, right? It's all about getting somebody a win. And the faster you can get somebody a win, it builds their belief. And getting somebody a win financially is so important when they're setting off on a new business venture, right? And so it doesn't matter if it's a couple dollars or a couple $100, but back to what you just said, it's our responsibility. If I get somebody started, and in a lot of cases, 1, maybe somebody's never been a business owner, or 2, they've never been a part of this industry, or 3, they've probably never been a part of this particular company. And so when we tell them, hey, I'm going to sponsor you, I'm going to help you, step 1 is to get them a win. And you can do that quickly by getting them, helping them get a customer, helping them get a new brand partner. But remember, we said help them. So many times, Chris, I've seen people where you think that your work ends when you sponsor somebody because, hey, I got one. It's almost like it's almost like they're hunting or something, right? That's actually when our work as this sponsor really begins, right? Because they don't know how to connect with people. They don't know how to explain the opportunity. And there's so many experts that are on this Zoom today, but Chris, it's that first paycheck. I know many times in my career, talking to top earners, many of them can go back to, they got a paycheck quickly and it built their belief and they wanted to go do it again. Because once you realize, I love what Jane Bolin says, her first paycheck was like, $27 or whatever it was. But she thought, wait a minute, here's what I did to get that. If I just go keep doing that, maybe they'll pay me a little bit more. And that's what happened. Then it went to 50, then it went to 100, then it went to 1,000, then it went to 2,000. And it just builds on itself. So Chris, for belief, when it comes to business, we got to get somebody, get them paid quickly. And it's our responsibility.
Why don't you go over the levels of team lead bonus?
Yeah, Chris, I think for most people, and I love what Coach Rowland says, right? Like, to get someone started, you guys, make it where it's, a lot of us use a transformation pack or an experience pack that's about 250 points because it's a low barrier to entry, right? It's a member level, but it gets someone started without having to make a huge financial decision that's a couple $1,000. Now, is there people that want to start like that? Absolutely. Do I ever offer it? Absolutely. But Chris, a member level is kind of like, hey, I've just entered this business. And the great thing is they've got time to level up, but a member level is going to pay you what's called 15% team lead bonus. Guys, here's the great thing. Remember I said a customer or a brand partner? At the member level, you're going to make 15% of the volume, whether it's a customer or a brand partner. We get paid on selling products to end consumers. That end consumer can be a new brand partner or a new customer. So 15%. But then you start to look at the chart on the right. And I always ask myself, and nothing against, people that go to college, I want educated people, but, and I hope I get this right, but, people go to college and they get I think it's a bachelor's degree. Well, then some people go get like a step up, I think is a master's degree. And then you got a PhD. And then there's people that get multiple PhDs. Why would you get a bigger degree? Well, because it gives them typically the right, Chris, to earn more. And what I love about this scale here is if you kind of use that as an analogy, you kind of started at college level, right? You're going to get a bachelor's and all of a sudden you realize, wait a minute, if I bump up to what's called business level, which means I just got to buy or sell a few more products to hit that 500 point volume, I'm now locked in for life. Guys, this is a one-time deal. You lock it in for life at 20%. Chris, I wasn't good in math, at least complicated math, but simple math I'm really good at. 20% is better than 15%. Like, I don't care how you split it, it's better. But then you look and it says elite. Well, that would be like, going and getting a PhD, right? Like, it gives you the right to make 25% of anything that you personally sell, right? For a customer or a new teammate. Chris, I love that. Like, they empower us. Can you imagine how many, if any of you have a job, you go to work and say, and they said, well, you know what? You can buy this uniform and we'll pay you 15%. But if you buy the Mac Daddy Ultimate uniform, just buy it one time. Just one uniform, one time. We're going to pay you at an ultimate, you guys, which is what should every person, I believe, should aspire to get to, because it's going to lock you in at 30%, double where you started. Well, who would ever go get a job and say, you know what, just pay me half of what I'm worth. Just pay me half of what you're willing to pay. Our company's willing to pay you 30%. Are you going to settle for 15, 20, or 25? And Chris, they're so generous. They give us 8 weeks to attain the business level that we want through personal purchases. Or you might say, hey, I just don't have any more money to spend. Great. Grab your sponsor, make them be responsible, have them help you go out there and sell products, because our company even allows you to sell your way up to ultimate. And Chris, to me, if you're here to build a business, if you're here to financially change your life, ultimate is not even an option, right? Start where you can start, but then you work your way towards either through personal purchases or personal sales to get locked in at that ultimate for life. And once you're there, you never have to requalify for that again.
Yeah, I want to make this very clear, guys. A lot of times we get confused about, and I want you to, we're going to take this in segments, understanding that each one of our segments are standalone. Retail sales, we didn't even mention because that's pretty simple. You buy a product for $100, you sell it for 120, you make $20. That's easy to understand. This is the most, to me, this is the hardest part for people to distinguish between is the team lead bonus. So understand, Aaron said it very clearly. A customer, someone who just wants to buy products, which we're very excited about because it pays the same, or a brand partner. And it's not because they joined your business. I want to make that clear. It's not because they joined your business. It's because they purchased products. The amount of products they purchase is how much percentage that you make. Coach Palmer, Coach Rowland, before we go on to that, I know we all agree that our comp plan is absolutely amazing. We know it's the number one in the industry. But is there anything y'all want to add to this? Because this one, I think, is everything else I really believe simplifies things. Todd, I saw you unmute, so I'll go to you first.
I know. I just thought Aaron did a great job explaining it. It is, you can start wherever you want to and work your way up to the top. And that's capitalism at its best. And that's what I love about it.
Chris, I'll say this because I've been on the phone with Aaron, and that was amazing. And he talked about the ability to level up in this compensation plan, which, like Todd said, Coach Rowland said, is amazing. But one of the things, Chris, before as we move through the comp plan, to remember, this Zoom's all about getting this training is all about getting a new person started. One of the things that all great people do that make a living in this industry, when they enroll someone, we got to plug them into a power source. I encourage everybody on here, as soon as you enroll someone, get a welcome call set up. I've been on the phone with Aaron Decker. I've had him jump on a call with me before and welcome a new brand partner to the business, to New Age. And Aaron does a great job, but it does not have to be Aaron. It could be anybody. But again, it's bringing somebody through a welcome call saying, hey, we're excited to have you on, a part of New Age. We're excited to get you started. And then Aaron always leads them down a path. Are you here to make, an extra $500 a month, an extra $1,000 a month, an extra $5,000 a month, so that we kind of establish where that new brand partner's at, so that then we can go to the comp plan and show them how they can level up in this thing to get to where they want to go. So, Chris, before we went further, I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood, when you enroll someone, make sure that you do a welcome call with them and another brand partner in the company, just to set up that teamwork and that bond. You'll see a lot of excitement come out of that.
Absolutely.
Hey, Chris, go back to that slide one more time, because this is going to be for those that are either new to our company, new to our industry, or have been around the industry. One point I want to make is, so many pay structures, they have these gotchas, right? And you're thinking, man, I'm a member level at 15%, but all of a sudden, maybe a Coach Rowland or a Chris Doyle or a Brent Palmer, and they started at an ultimate level. So here's our gotcha. So in most companies, you would be punished because you couldn't afford or you didn't start at the top level. Chris, in our pay structure, they actually reward you. Like if you start at a member level and your first person said, hey, I can afford, I'm going to come in at ultimate. Chris, they don't pay you the 15% of that volume. They actually pay you the higher volume because you found somebody. They're going to reward you, right? Our company has such a generosity mentality. They're not going to punish you. They're actually going to reward you because you found somebody that can purchase more products and start at a higher level. So I wanted to make that point, because our company, at every twist, at every turn, they're finding ways to pay you, not to not pay you.
And I also want to add to what Aaron said earlier, that make sure you caught that, is that once you hit a level, there's no requalifying. And again, if you've been around the industry, I've sat down with people and I've had that question asked to me more than once. So when I get to ultimate, what I have to do to keep it? Well, you just stay in the business, keep yourself an auto ship or 100-point sale each month. And that's really what it comes down to. It is, you don't have to do that. And there's one slide I missed, because Aaron has to go to a funeral, and I wanted to make sure that we talked about something. Well, it's not working for me. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure that we clear this one thing up about being qualified for the money. So I skipped this part, not because that, but I wanted Aaron to talk about getting a new person started. So to be qualified for our compensation, I think this is critical. You can call it whatever you want, a subscription, a sale, whatever you want it to be, but you've got to have sales going through your personal business of 100 volume points every 4 weeks. Now it makes sense totally for it to be me, because I purchase about, I think I looked yesterday, it was 300, I have 330 volume points personally on AutoShip, because Judy and I use so many of the products that we've redirected spending. Her skincare, she loves, so we use our products. We use so many different things, and we don't have an issue with this. But you need to understand, to be qualified for compensation, this is a government rule. You can't just be in a system and not get paid. I'm amazed that people think you just get paid because you sign up. Well, no, that'd be illegal. You actually have to build a business, and you have to be selling some product. So you buying some product or selling some product. And AutoShip is the simplest way to do that. If you want to build a solid business, teach your teams to go on AutoShip. Get their 100 volume points or more. I look at lots of people here and see all kinds of people I know are way up. Their AutoShips are way more than that as well. So I want to make sure I threw that in as we went farther. So the next part about compensation thing that we want to talk about, we just talked about the team lead, and that is understanding that team lead is up to $450. So a person, there is a cap on that. So if a person signs up and they go up to 1,500 volume points in their first 30, they come in with Ultimate, or they build their way to Ultimate, then you're still going to get paid as much as 30% on all that volume before it starts going into your base commission. A lot of people ask me about my daughter, how she gets so many people to Ultimate. She buys her products from a new rep. So I'm going to show you a little tip to increase your commission a little bit. If you sign up a new rep and you've got a product that you want to order, something you're going to use, you can order it through your other rep, the brand new rep, in their first 28 days, and you'll increase your commission. Company doesn't care. It's not an issue to them. All you're helping them do is to level up to the next promotion. And that's one of the things Kristen does to help each of her team members. Now, she has an advantage because she sells a lot of products through her gym. I want to make that obvious that she does. So she orders through them when she orders product. But I just want to make sure you know there is a cap of $450. But that's pretty good to start one person, a new brand partner out, that you get paid 30%, up to 30% on that brand new partner. So next slide. Let's get this simple. Coach Palmer or Todd, we have, guys, I don't know if y'all notice this. We don't rehearse this. We all shoot from the hip on Saturday mornings. We know a topic and we kind of figure out where we're going to go, but we just got to go back and forth. I know that they've been doing this long enough. I think it's simple. Coach Palmer, why don't you start talking about base commission? I've shown the simplicity. I have another slide about that as well. But I'm just kind of, once you talk base commission.
I might let me let Coach Rowland go right here, and then I'll piggyback Coach as he goes through it.
Okay, so Chris, on base commissions, this is one of those things that once you learn it and you learn the unlimited potential of it, depending on how many lines that you want to build, it kind of sets you free in life, because you have the ability here, if you're willing to put a real business effort into it, to create an income stream that is life changing. Because the golden rule to create wealth is, outside of winning the lottery, family inheritance, is you have to create leverage. You have to create duplication. Big business owners do that by hiring employees. Everybody's always heard the statement that 1% effort of 100 people is better than 100% effort of my own. And then the other statement that is generally true is the C students end up hiring the A students to work for them. So as an employer, there you sit building a company, hiring all these people that probably are smarter than you, paying them a quote salary. And we all know what a salary is. It's just enough money to keep you from chasing your dreams, pays your bills, never gets you ahead. So I always tell people the traditional business model is really, it's kind of crazy. It's really the quote pyramid of the world, because in traditional business, and I just tell you to go look at it, go look at what Jeff Bezos makes at Amazon, And then look at what his employees make. He's bragging about giving them all $15 an hour, and he's worth over $100 billion. So in our type of business, we all have business owner leverage. Now, that's the great news. Here's the bad news. The bad news is if you're a salaried employee, you can kind of be lazy and get away with it. Here, if you're a business owner, you got to go build a business, and you got to go invest in people's lives. You got to create friends, and you got to help other people do better. And the way we are compensated in this area of pay called base pay, we're going out to look not for salary people, not for employees at $15 an hour. We're going out to look for people that want to be business owners just like us. So this is the power of our industry, is every time we get a person started, just as Aaron and Brent and Chris described, and we get them making some team lead bonus, that initial paycheck, they have the same opportunity to create the same leverage I'm about to explain. And that is, when you start entering your new reps, we're going to start building a minimum of 2 legs as we start our business model off. So you'll sign somebody up on your power line, which could be either leg. It's not necessarily right or left. It could be either one. And then you'll sign somebody up on your other leg. And people have different systems of doing that. I'm not going to train that this morning because there's multiple systems that work. Generally speaking, your upline that's making money, I always tell people everybody's got an opinion, but I always try to find the people who are making money's opinions. And there's plenty of those people. Just search them out, ask them kind of how they think to build that. But we're going to start building at least 2 legs. And every Friday at midnight, it will time out. And what the system will do is look at both legs you're building. So you're just signing people up one underneath the other. And on Friday, everything that has been ordered, whether it is a sign up pack, whether it is an auto ship, whether it's somebody just randomly going and ordering Blue Frog 2, whether it's loyalty shopping, doesn't matter what occurs. Every little circle or person in your business is a business owner selling and ordering product. And everything without exception, and this is unlike a lot of companies, there's no exception. Every transaction that takes place on those 2 legs is going to be showing up in what we call volume. And you'll see there under those 2 circles, Chris already has it optimized out, which optimize is a word that we use in our company, simply meaning that you get into some extra bonus money. But before it gets to those numbers, it may say 500 on one leg and 1,000 on the other leg. So if it said 1,000 on one leg, that would be what's called your power line, because it is your biggest leg of the week. 500 on the other leg would be your pay line, because it's less, and you're simply going to be paid 15% of every transaction that occurred in what we call your pay line. So if you had 500 volume points and you made 15%, you would make, what is that? $75 for the week. If you, let's just, so that's the beginning. But then we create leverage, meaning that, remember, everybody joining is a business owner. I wouldn't expect anybody to do this on their own initially. It can happen. It's rare. What your job is to go help people make money. So everybody signing up, your job is to go present for them, whether that be on Zooms or on 3-way calls, answering questions, or in person doing 2-on-1 presentations, or doing level up parties in living rooms, whatever it is that you do to help them show the next person and get them their initial team lead bonus, which is where we began. All that starts leveraging out, compounding out. And then all of a sudden you wake up one day and you might have 100 people on each leg that maybe sold or bought a couple hundred, 300 product, $300 worth of products, whatever it may be. But all of a sudden now you've got, let's just spin life forward and say you've got 13,000 volume points sold on 2 legs. Well, now then they're both equal, so it doesn't matter. One of them will be your pay leg, one of them will be your power line, but you can see 13,334 times 15% equals $2,000 for the week. The greatest thing about making $2,000 for the week is you do at that point, when you hit that simple number, getting to a worldwide bonus pool, it's going to kick in about an additional 500. So you're at 2,500 a week. If you can get 2 legs doing that, the great thing about our company is you can build as many legs as you want. We won't go into that on this slide. Brent, I'll turn it. Oh, there we go. You can see there that you can start building additional legs, 3, 4, 5, heck, 10. This is one of the most unique features about our pay plan. And what happens in our pay plan is every leg you build, no matter how many, if you built 10, you're going to be paid 15% on 9 of the 10, unlimited on all that leverage and volume created. But on every leg you're building, you're also going to be getting a bonus, and the bonuses are exponential depending on how many legs you build. So anyway, Brent, Chris, I'll turn it back to you guys and y'all can clear up what I just said.
No, Todd, Coach, that was amazing. And what I love about it and is you can look at this and see the earning potential, but then you can also draw it back down to simplicity. And you go, how do you build leverage? Well, you get people, and Coach Rowland talked about it, you get people to level up. Like if I enroll 4 people and I help those 4 get 4 and level up their business, meaning they're making money, they're driving finances into their bank accounts, these income positions are going to take care of themselves over time. And so I love the visual of what this can turn into, but I love always drawing it back to the simplicity of I've got one job to do. That's help other people that I bring into the business level up and go invite 4 people to go do this with them. As I do that over time, this income position and the power of base commissions is going to take care of itself.
Absolutely.
Hey, I want to mention one thing, and I'm not talking about anybody. I'm talking about my own family. My oldest son is 28. His fiance, both of them were finance majors. They both work at big banks. And they just spent a week with me in Utah. I don't get to see him as much anymore, but he's just finally hit that age where college is wearing off and reality is setting in. They both make really good, quote, salaries. I mean, way more than I made as a high school football coach. However, the entire week, they both complained because they don't feel like they're getting paid for as much as they're working. Although they make a quote salary, they're both a bit miserable in where they're at because they want to make more. But when you're in corporate America, remember they both went to college to get this great quote salary job, but the famous word I use, they're capped until the next promotion comes along. So they're always trying to get in line, get promoted up the ranks. Guys, that story used to tell you this. In this business, you promote your freaking self. And sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad. So what's bad about it is there is no such thing as a salary here. There's no weekly check given to anybody. But the great part about it is if you're a go-getter and you have desire in your gut and your sole mission in life is to level up the house, if you want to get out of debt, if you want to travel the world, if you want time freedom, look at those legs, sear it in your brain. You go build 10 of them, and 10 of them in our company would be a couple of $1 million a year in income, probably close to $3 million a year in income. It's all about potential and desire. And we're not looking for everybody because everybody doesn't have that. Some people just don't. But if you're one of those that you're just waiting on your chance, that's all this is. This is your chance to go do better. I'm going to mention one last thing, Chris. They also started using this stupid term around me called PTO. And a lot of corporate people work from home now. So we were trying to go hiking and ride horses, and they were like, well, we're going to have to use our PTO time if we're not on call. I'm like, what the heck is PTO? It's called paid time off. And I was like, and this is my son, I'm talking about my own family. I'm like, dude, you're so stupid. You went to college and now you have to work for PTO. I said, build your residual income and live on time off. You know, anybody out there today that PTO means something to you, guys, you're in the wrong profession. You don't want PTO. You want residual income. You want to live life on your own terms. And it bothers me that sometimes people don't understand that, especially when they've been raised in my family. I want them to go do better in life, not be dictated by some Caesar that's called a CEO of a company. So anyway, guys, go build your legs, go level up your life. The sky is the potential. And Chris, I know the next part of the pay plan is going to be all you, because I know it's your favorite.
I want to say something that you said, Todd, that because most people know that I was in big business and I had a lot of employees, and we paid people just enough to keep them from quitting, and they worked just hard enough to keep me from firing them. And that's the way life works in corporate America. You do just enough to keep them happy. And in this business, this pays you what you're worth. And everybody doesn't want to hear that. They want it to be easier. But there's nothing like the word leverage. And that's what you get with this. And the reason you see Coach Palmer, Coach Rowland, Aaron Deckers, and we talk about many other leaders on here, is they've learned how to help people leverage. But it's not because it's easy. It's because they have worked with their teams. Coach Palmer is a machine. Todd Rowland is a machine. Aaron Decker is a machine. They know how to get other people leveraged. But guys, but I want to make sure you understand, team lead bonus is separate from this. Base commissions. This was hard for me to learn when I started with this company, because it was totally different from the company I've been before. The base commissions are separate. And the next thing we're going to talk about is also separate. Each one of these, Coach Palmer, listen, I'm not against car programs. Limu people, I passed a Limu car yesterday. I wanted to wave them down to see who they were. It was on the interstate. It had Limu in the back window. They didn't have a clue who it was. They thought I was trying to run them over. They were freaking out because I was just wanting to say, hey, I know y'all, but they didn't ever speak. At any rate, why don't you talk about the savings plan bonus in conjunction with difference? I mean, that's not that one draw or right. I love car programs. I've had some cars, but why don't you talk about the savings plan bonus before we go into match pay?
Absolutely. Absolutely. On the slide, I don't know if it's mine. I don't know if we can size it down a little better. Is it showing up big on yours, Chris?
It is.
Okay. The savings plan, it really blows my mind because, Chris, I just believe we're living in a different day and time. And I don't think any of us look out at the world today and go, you know what? Over the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to see major change in the world, major change in North America, you know, and the car programs are amazing. And the cool thing about our savings plan bonus is if that's your jam, if that's what you want to do, by all means, you can do it. But when we came over, one of the things about the car program was someone could hit it. But then what about if they didn't maintain it? What happens to that car payment, right? And that's just, there's pros and cons to everything. And so, yes, it was a great visual, yes, but over time, if something happened in their business outside of their control, they could possibly be handed over a note that they've got to make the payment for every month. And so the savings bonus works just completely different. Now, once you get to earning $250 in base commissions, the company matches 15% of your check. They don't take money. It's a check matching bonus that goes into this savings bonus. And I challenge everybody on here or everybody that's watching the recording of this, go to your back office and look and find your savings bonus and see what you've accumulated, because this thing accumulates over time. Every week you get paid, you've got to make at least $250 in base pay. And from that point on, every week you get paid, the company's matching 15%, and you can watch that grow in your savings plan in your back office. And once it meets $10,000, then it pays you. It pays you the entire $10,000. Chris Doyle, I have received my $10,000 bonus. And that's huge. Who don't want an extra $10,000, you know, to go on a vacation that you've dreamed about going on, to go put a huge down payment on a car, or to go lease a car for 2 or 3 years and pay and pretty much let the $10,000 just pay that lease, but you got the money. You've got the money in hand. And then here's the thing, after you cash that $10,000 bonus, then once a month, you're going to receive a percentage. And Chris, I believe that percentage, I know mine is I can speak on my behalf. It's $2,000 a month that I receive after I got my $10,000 bonus. And I'll say this across the industry, I don't know of any company that gives a $2,000 car bonus. So if you want to use that $2,000 a month to go use it on cars or go whatever, you can do it. Like this savings plan to me is truly making us our own CEO of our business, of our enterprise, to do what we want to. So Chris, is it 15% of your monthly base pay once you cash out the 10,000 bonus?
It's 15% up to 2,000 a month. So you're at the cap. It just does have a cap on it on the savings bonus. Once you hit the 10,000, it's 500 a week. That's it. So you can get up. But like you said, Coach, the company I was with before, ours was $700 if you hit the same thing. But it didn't matter if you quadrupled that number; it was still $700. Todd Rowland probably was tenfold that, but he still got $700. I'm not against cars. I don't want to make it sound like if you love the car programs, then here's the good part: you can, for $2,000 a month, I believe you can pretty well cover whatever car you want to buy.
Hey, Chris, let me say this. I had a call this week about this, and it was from a rep. It was from a brand partner that came over from Limu, now involved in this compensation plan. And she told me that she's averaging about $800 a month in the savings plan program. She's already cashed her $10,000 bonus, and she's averaging about $800 a month in the savings plan bonus. That's above most car programs in every company in our industry. And she just was blown away at what she's getting to use that money for. She's actually helping one of her kids go to college with that money. It's just, again, it's putting the money to your disposal to do what you want to with. It's a beautiful thing. And it's another form of generosity that our company is looking out for our best interest.
I think that's the key, what you just said, looking out for the rep's best interest. And it's nothing against car programs. I don't want to make it sound like I dislike car programs. I just know that fiscally speaking, this company's trying to disrupt an industry. And truth is, companies don't pay for as many cars as you think they do. And many people are in the mess. Okay, the last slide, and Aaron and Todd alluded to this. This is my favorite slide. Again, remember, each one of these is separate. Team lead bonus is on its own. That's for your new reps. And I've tried to explain this to my daughter as she's beginning to understand now. Kristen's really engaged in the business. I heard Todd some frustration with his children and me as well. My daughter's watched me since she was 15 years old. And all at once she decided she wanted residual income instead of reporting to a business that she owned. But here she's starting to see this other part. And here's the thing I want you to understand. I don't know why it switched back on me. It moved up. Go back to this second. I want you to understand, we talked about sponsoring a representative. And so when people try to tell me that we're in a pyramid, it absolutely shows ignorance on their part or lack of knowledge. They just don't understand. And I was the ignorant one in the beginning because I didn't understand the industry very well. So anytime you sponsor a person, that doesn't mean that there's a lot of people may end up on your team because somebody placed somebody under you. But these are your family. I'm going to call these the family tree. When you sponsor a representative, every time they get base commissions on Friday, I don't care. And here's another little gotcha in this industry. I don't care if it's $2 for the week or $100,000 for the week in base commissions. You're going to override that at 15%. It doesn't matter what title they're at. There's so many companies, I won't call their names, but these companies that if a person breaks out of your system or they exceed you by title, you lose that. Well, that's very important to me because you just heard from Aaron Decker a few minutes ago. Well, I'm Aaron Decker's personal sponsor. So I don't even know what title he is. He's a bunch of titles higher than me. He's chairperson 3 or something. I don't know, 4. I don't know what title he's at. But every time Aaron gets paid, Every time he gets paid on Friday, I get a match check on his base commission. Doesn't cost Aaron a penny. It pays me a 15% base off of his base commission. So if Aaron makes $2,000 that week, I make $300 in match pay. And everybody will say, man, he's making a killing off Aaron Decker. I do well off of Aaron Decker personally, okay? But I want to make something very clear. Aaron Decker did not get to chairperson, whatever he's at for. I don't even keep up with it. I just look at the match pay because he didn't get there because he didn't bring a lot of representatives on board. People like Amy Summers and Whitney Johns and John Ramsey, some of these people are on his team on that leg under me. All those people are at some level in match pay. So when they get paid, everybody that Aaron sponsored, I get 10%. So I'm going to call them Aaron, my child, and those my grandchildren. That's second level. So if it don't take 9 months, it can happen quick. Okay. These people come up and everybody they sponsor, I get 5% on. And as at the very beginning, I was obviously making more off of Aaron than I was the team. But as his team has grown, levels 2, 3, 4, because he's built a big team, he has sponsored. We mentioned Jane Boland. So Jane Boland is on my second level. That's 10%. And Coach Palmer and Coach Rowland, I guess what we should throw out Coach Rowland. Aaron Decker's on his second level because Coach Rowland sponsored me. So Aaron, Todd loves for me to do well too because he wants to see me help his match pay, but he also gets paid on the people. I hope you understand. This is where if you're, guys, you don't need to understand this part right now. If you're in this business for the last 6 months and you're just now learning team lead bonus, don't try to study this part. This is where the real residual becomes. When this becomes bigger than when this becomes large enough that it's bigger than your base pay, then you're going to be like, you got something really special because then you've developed leadership. This is where the real money becomes for a big earner. If you explain this to someone who's been in the network marketing industry, this is the real deal. I know that Coach Palmer and Coach Rowland both love this because, I mean, when you got Ken Bailey on your first level, like Todd Rowland, and me on another level, this match pay becomes, it doesn't matter. I'm not quitting because somebody else does. Aaron Decker's not quitting because I'm not working. He outworks me. That's what you need to understand. Find some good people. This is where the real money is. There's other plays. We're not going to go into the rest of this compensation plan. They mentioned it. Coach Palmer or Coach Rowland, y'all want to mention something about match pay? Because I know, Brent, you came from a different compensation plan, and you really, and you've just drawn up something pretty amazing. But what's your take on this part?
Well, it's genius. I mean, it's what sets our compensation plan apart from any other. And if you're here and you don't understand, here's what you need to understand. You are one person away from an absolute explosion in your business financially because of this one particular structure of pay. Our great friend and leader in this company, Steve Schwartz, is a great example of that. He's a hard worker. He has been here since the beginning. He deserves everything he's gotten. But one thing that happened was one person led to an explosion in Europe that if you were to ask Steve Schwartz his match pay, it is astronomical. I don't want to make an income claim. It's astronomical. And he absolutely deserves it. But it wasn't a leg balance. It wasn't this person's got to be over here. This person's got to be over here. Or is that in your power line? Too many people get caught up in, well, I don't get paid in my power line. Ask Steve Schwartz if he gets paid in his power line. Ask Chris Doyle, does he get paid in his power line? Listen, the match pay defies all things in our industry because you do get paid in your power line and you do get rewarded for bringing someone in that ends up going and growing a business. And I'm going to leave with this and turn it to Coach Rowland. Chris, I went back and looked. The person that enrolled me in the business years ago, and again, it's not me, it's what the organization grew into. We did not have match pay. So therefore, he never really built anything else aside from just bringing me in. So he never really was compensated for the growth of what that turned into. But in match pay, he could have retired off the money he would have made just solely if he never worked again. He just brought our organization in and it did what it did. He could have retired. This right here is the reason you want to stick and stay in New Age and just share the name, share what you're doing, because you're one person away from having an explosion and having a retirement type income.
I think Coach Rowland's got a story like that might be pretty good too, because his sister was his sponsor in a different compensation plan.
Yeah, what Brent said, Chris, is just so powerful, because it's really the only pay plan inside of the network marketing industry that I've ever seen that if you just hit one right person, and I wouldn't expect to do it. I mean, we're in business here of helping other people do better. So don't go out looking for somebody to make you rich. It usually doesn't work out well. However, if you do hit a Brent Palmer or a Chris Doyle or someone that does decide to go do this big, our compensation plan will reward you for the rest of your life. And it has that dynamic compression involved, that meaning the company doesn't keep any money. So if somebody's auto ship turns off in that tree, everybody moves up a generation. So if somebody's sitting there on your first level that never did anything, that signed up somebody on your second level that never did anything, that signed up somebody on your third level that never did anything, and somebody signed up somebody on your fourth, fifth, sixth, all of a sudden down there about 6 levels deep, you meet somebody one day and start working with them, and they take off, and those 6 people go away and don't have an auto ship. The person you're working with down there on your 6th level dynamic compresses all the way up to the first generation, and you're getting 15%. They're not excluded from the company, so they can turn an auto ship back on and it'll compress back out. So it's a win-win on all levels. And when you combine all the ways we're paid, and then going back to that Bill of Rights, I had the privilege of eating lunch with Arlene and Enos Hutchison. Many of you know them. They're on all the Zooms. They live up at 10,000 feet. They always have 11 feet of snow in the wintertime, but got to eat lunch with them last week. And she said something really powerful. She probably didn't realize she said it, but she started when the company started. She was recruited by Tim Sells, and I forgot what was said, but something got brought up about the compensation plan. And she just looked and said, yeah, it's the same compensation plan I signed up on 10 years ago. And although she said it very nonchalantly, and I didn't even respond, it was that aha moment again that I can promise you, go find another network marketing company that's 10 years old and ask them, has their pay plan changed within the last 10 years? The answer will be 100% of the time. And here we sit 10 years in with the same compensation plan that she started with when the company launched. That's a massive deal. So I always tell people, don't bring me some other company's compensation plan until it's been in business 6 or 7 years and they haven't changed anything. Then we can start talking numbers.
Well, we've already run over time, of course, but obviously we know that this is what actually probably brought me over the hump to decide that this was the right company. I was impressed with the owners, and obviously they were a very young company. But when we learned this match pay, I know that Fred thought I was an idiot because I kept looking for the loophole. I hate to say that, but I asked the same questions over and over because I kept saying there's going to be a gotcha. And obviously there was no gotcha. It was exactly what they promised us and everything. But yeah, this illustration is only numbers, doesn't make any promises, but you'll have to, it's just a mathematical growth, doesn't represent actual results. But here's the thing, if you sponsored 4 representatives, this is just the match pay. And that's what our comp plan really calls for. Get the ultimate is 8, but you got 4 representatives making $100 a week, and you repeat that just 3 times. I think sometimes the network marketing guys, they always talk about making $1 million a month, or people do that. But here's the thing: how many lives could you change just if you were? And it takes gold status to qualify for the first 3 generations of match pay, and you'll never get it taken away. Even if you only sponsored 1 person, you make gold status. So you got 4 that got 4 that got 4. Those are cumulative. So you add 320 plus 160 plus 60. These are not people like a Brent Palmer or Todd Rowland or Aaron Decker or Richard Toggle. I see so many people on here that are making real money. These are people just making, these stay-at-home mom making $400 a month. Guys, that will match pay, will put you at over $500 a week, not including your base pay. How many lives could you change for an extra $2,000 a month? And that is not talking about a team. You're looking here, that's 64 and 16 and 4. understand that that is literally less than 100 people on your team in your first 3 levels making money. And that's, I want you to realize that is very powerful. Sometimes one of my disgruntles of this industry is people talking about, let's just go make millions. When the truth is, I can help, I'm helping so many people because I want people to do what I want. I really do. I had to learn that they just had different goals. A stay-at-home mom that wants to make $2,000 a month and keep her kids out of daycare is so doable here. If you'll focus in, stay and realize it's a business and takes a little time to build, but it won't be just jumping on Zooms. It won't be just, it's got to be doing the activities that make a difference. We had a few other things we were going to talk about today, but we went a little long. And so guys, we'll end it here. I'll stop my screen share. But here's, we didn't even get into the last part. Todd Rowland's favorite part is the pay line bonuses, but you don't need to know those things right now. Those are not things that are critical for you. Learn the basics. If you're brand new, how am I collecting team lead bonuses? How then you'll learn. I'm going to take my daughter. I bring her up because she's building a business. She didn't understand this compensation plan, but she knew her dad picked it. So she made most of her money those first few weeks because of team lead bonuses. Then she said, Dad, I got this thing, this base commissions are doing really good now. And it's because of some leaders, she started getting some activity. And then last week she said, Dad, she actually asked this question, what is match pay? Because it hit on her. She started gin and hot chocolate, and a few people that she had in her business started making some money. And so she started seeing more than $5 or $6 and $10 in match pay. She started seeing $100 or $200 in match pay. Well, now she's got a business that's becoming established. So just understand, it is a step. Team lead bonuses, get as many as you can get. Second step, by the way, Coach Palmer may be the best. He constantly putting new people in the system. But then those base commissions will start to grow and you're continuing to add to them. And then when that match pay begins outgrowing the other, now you have an established business. And see, I'm going to end with this. And I'm sorry I'm so late, but there's so much going in my head right now about so many people join our industry and they think they're going to get rich in 6 months. Guys, when I started my manufacturing company and started doing blue jeans, do you know I didn't take a check for 4.5 years? Listen to me, 4.5 years before I got one check. My wife did hair. She worked and she paid the bills. I worked a side job while I was building the manufacturing company. 4.5 years later, it began to roll. And in that 7th year, I was at a 7-figure income in that company. And that was in the blue jean business. So why do we think that network marketing is supposed to pay us more? If it's a real business, it takes time to build. And that's the only thing that frustrates me. People think they're going to get rich in 6 months. You just got to understand you're going to go through some who'll get frustrated and quit. The only question is whether you do. And that's the only, I wish I could give you some secret to success. One guy told me 20 years ago, I said, what's the secret? This guy had made millions, and Todd said, just don't quit. Just keep trugging along, be consistent. Good things will happen. I can't work as hard as these two coaches here do. They used to work hard. I was always used to hiring people to work hard. So it was different. But I just want to end with that, Coach Palmer, Coach Rowland, we went over. But I think it's good for people to understand the basic fundamentals. And Arkansas, be it Arkansas. If you hadn't bought your ticket to Arkansas, you're banned from my Zooms unless you're from Canada, because I know y'all can't come. I'm just kidding. A lot of people can't come, but if you can come, you really need to be there. There's some things going to roll out there that's going to blow your mind. Coach Palmer, Coach Rowland, anything else?
I know we've run over, but I do want to say this as we end, and if we need to end the recording. One thing that's super powerful about the company you're in, and I'm seeing it right now with the launch of Africa, is the ownership of New Age is tailoring this compensation plan, this patented compensation plan around the world. Let me tell you the power behind that. They're massaging the compensation plan out in different areas to fit Africa, right? So we're going to have a compensation plan that might look a little different, only to benefit the reps in the different countries we go in. It is, Chris, this has never been done in the history of network marketing. Most compensation plans, you got to try to ramrod it into a country to make it work. This is super powerful. There's so many people on here that will have a global business around the world because of the forward thinking of this company. Blown away. Thank you for today, Chris.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Rowland, last words?
Nope. Everybody out there have a super blessed week. I love these Saturday mornings.
I want you to look at one thing as you're out there, guys. If you can't see, and Aaron had to leave, but if you can't see the smiles on Coach Rowland's face, and the coach, we are also wired up with what's coming in the next few weeks with what the company's rolling out. I just think that we're about to bust with just things happening. We spent a week in Utah just listening and talking and having a good time. And Coach Rowland just got some time in the mountains resting. But guys, there are so many great things coming that we are wired to the hilt. I think reason I had to have this Blue Frog is I can't sleep. So at any rate, that's a bad thing, but a good thing as well. The Blue Frog took care of it. Guys, have a great Saturday. We'll be back next week as well. And we look forward to it. And we appreciate you joining us. And never know whose guest we might have. We may be a surprise guest next week. Have a great day.
Bye, everybody. Grateful for you.
See y'all guys.